La familia è tutto. Family is everything. My father loved that old Italian saying, but in this case we need to add to it. La familia è tutto e tutti. Family is everything and everyone. All were welcome. Always room for one more. One family wasn't enough for Dad. He made new families. Everywhere he went, everything he did, he was happiest when surrounded by people. It's easy to understand why that was. He grew up near his whole extended family in an Italian-American neighborhood on Hilltop, on Grant Street, in the home of his grandfather, Gasparo Camino, with his parents, Sister Mary Messina, and his younger siblings, Frank Messina and Francie Jordan. The Aquino family was especially close, literally. Gasparo had 4 sons, so he bought 4 lots on Grant Street so they could all raise their families together. The whole Aquino family on one street. Dad had a couple other ready-made families. There was the Tacoma's Italian-American community. Everyone on Hilltop knew everyone else and what they were up to. Dad expressed his Italian pride in many, many ways. He had the Italian flag tattoo and horses of honor with the order sons and daughters of Italy and America. His other ready-made family was the local Catholic parish named after St. Rita of Caution, the patron saint of hopeless causes. And that's apt because Dad brought hope to many a hopeless cause. The Aquinos have been active in St. Rita's right from its founding in 1922. It's too bad we couldn't have the funeral there, but there's just too many wonderful people. Dad started making his own families while he was still a little kid, starting with the neighborhood kids. They were his friends for life. He was their leader, and he mostly led them into mischief. Let's just say Rotten Tomatoes came to play at times. Despite the search to make mischief, as a teenager, Dad trained to become a pastor at St. Rita's. He attended St. Edward's Seminary in Kenmore, but after graduating was devastated to hear that the church would not station him in a Tacoma parish. He was told his new parish would be his new family. Dad said, "My family is my family." So fortunately for me, 2 of my sisters, and all their kids, Dad decided to become a high school teacher instead. He went to college at Puget Sound and then taught at John High School for a few years. But Dad was soon to start a new family. He met the love of his life, his partner, Rhoda Lewis, at the New Yorker Cafe where she worked. The New Yorker was very popular with the Hilltop crowd, and a lot of the regulars saw a match between Mom and Dad. They encouraged him to ask her out. He eventually did. And they went to a Seattle Rangers game, and love bloomed. Mom was 2 things that women were not supposed to be: a single mother and divorced. Dad's family was supportive, but the standards of the day were so silly, Mom had to wear a pink wedding dress because she couldn't wear white because she was too tarnished. Marrying Mom was a double blessing because she was a package deal, and Dad now had his first child, my sister Dana Gallagher. Rumor has it Dad wanted 6 kids, but Mom said you'd have to earn more than a teacher's salary for that to happen. So Dad left his beloved Tacoma and to attend Gonzaga Law School in Spokane. My sister Mary Beth Messina was conceived right around the time Dad got accepted to law school. Then I was conceived right around Dad's 27th birthday. And at that point, Mom and Dad decided that 3 kids was plenty. But then something happened around the 4th of July, and we came forward with me and Boston, my sister. And my sister gave my dad 5 wonderful, loving grandkids. David's daughter, Lily Galligan, Mary Beth's kids, Giovanna and Vinnie Heights, and leaving his children, Mary and Ray Boston. And he wouldn't forgive me if I didn't mention his cats. So he loved cats. He had Bambino Corleone, Carl Sagan, PC, which stood for Project Cool, Max, and of course Oscar. Dad also loved sports, and he supported all 12 teams with a passion, and also Gonzaga. He was a very successful softball coach for 30 years, starting with the St. Rita's fast-pitch team when he was only 18. After we were in Spokane and came back, the team reunited to play slow pitch as the Sons of Italy. Dad branded the Sons as the family team, and then he went around back field looking for all the best players who were family men, and one by one, year by year, he coached pretty much all of them. And so many people wanted to play for the Sons, they had to start a second team. That was coached by my Uncle Frank, and all three of my mother's brothers who started on that team. Then in '85, Dad started another St. Rita squad, and this one qualified for the National Church Tournament all 4 years of its existence. The teams were a community like that other family. Mom and Dad were the mom and dad, and they were terrific role models. I had a front row seat as I watched men become better men just from knowing my father. And so many of us were inspired with his decency, fairness, humanity, and sense of justice. Softball team party for right venues for my father's pranks. Does anyone remember the funnel trick?
Yeah.
And Dad invented the selfie in the 60s. And we have proof. It sounds like proof in the other room. You didn't leave your camera unattended, or when you got the film processed, there would be a close-up of Dad's face somewhere on the wall. More than a prankster, he was a troublemaker. Pranks is the prank, but trouble's trouble. And sometimes it was bad trouble, like arguing with umps and getting picked out of games or parks. But mostly it was good trouble. And nothing reflects that more than his law career, which began in 1969 with Dad posting the highest score on the Washington bar exam that year. The list of his achievements is too long, and you can read about it in the online obituary. But what's important is he was a champion of the underdog. And he battled Fortune 500 corporations and governments in order to bring justice to his clients. And ease their burden. When he started his own firm in the 80s, his leadership reflected his values. He was a visionary, especially when it came to women in the workplace. He hired women as attorneys and paralegals before that was a thing. He gave the paralegals great responsibilities and lots of credit. He did away with the term secretary, preferring administrative assistants. Dad didn't just give women opportunity, he gave them dignity. He was famous for his generosity. Dad had boundless energy to give and was generous with his time. And he always shared the accolades for his many accomplishments. If you ask me, the best thing about my father was what a tolerant man he was. He detested bigotry in all of its forms. My sisters and I were taught to respect people regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, and gender. And that love is love, no matter who you love. When Dad started making good money, he insisted it didn't make us better than other people. In our house, when you turned 12, you got a part-time job, period. He always talked about how people like us had advantages other people don't have, and how that creates an obligation to help other people. He referred to our advantages as blessings. He once told me, I say blessings and not gifts because gifts are free. And blessings come with a price. One of the prices we paid was time. Dad was painfully aware we didn't spend as much time together as some families. But we understood there were people who needed some more than we did. The only hard part about being a child of John Messina was having to share them with so many people. But he made time for us when he could. When Emily and I were little kids, he would come home for lunch every day, and then when we started elementary school, he made us breakfast every morning. People ask me what it was like living in the shadow. What shadow? He never cast a shadow over me. And if I tried to hide the shadow, he would kick me right out. Well, Dad's probably took his watch now, so I'll wrap this up with a quick story that says everything about him as a father, a man, and a human being. A few years after I dropped out of law school, I went up to Dad and I said, "Are you disappointed I didn't become a lawyer? You never acted disappointed." He said, "Son, the only way you can disappoint me is by doing something that doesn't make you happy in order to make me happy." La familia è tutto e tutti. Family is everything and everything. Thank you all.